From the outside looking in, it looks like over their last 6 Barclays Premier League games, Manchester United have been playing very, very well. And looking at the fact that they've won 5 out of their last 6, you would think that that is true. And this does include their most recent win, which was a 3-0 win over Everton at Goodison Park on the weekend. However, a lot of these wins have not been convincing whatsoever. And when I say not convincing, I mean we could have easily have drew or lost these games. So in these games, against Everton, this wasn't convincing either, because United, they didn't look like they were in control of the game whatsoever. It was kind of like when they scored, they really, really didn't look like they were going to score, if that makes any sense. It seems like it went a bit against the run of play, which is never a good thing, because when you're playing a football game, you want to look like you're going to score. You want to look like you're putting pressure on the opposition to make the mistakes for you to score. Otherwise, it's kind of like you need to look for a break, or you need to look for some kind of lucky part in the game. And Everton were just beating them in the midfield, which meant Everton really had more of the control of the game, which is, again, that is a very, very negative thing. And then United just didn't seem to have a response to this. It's really, really weird, because United will have these games where they play absolutely magnificently, and then they'll go and play a team that is in the bottom half, and then they just won't have an answer to them, whereas they've just faced another pretty good team and they played brilliantly against them. It really makes no sense that Everton were beating them in the midfield and really controlling the game. And the fact that United didn't have a response to this, to me, is quite worrying, considering that they are in the Champions League as well. And these teams in the Champions League, seeing this, will be loving it, because they still might not go through, even though a lot of my friends think that United will eventually end up going through in the Champions League. Everton also made a lot of chances throughout the game, and if it wasn't for some brilliant saves from Onana, United would have been in really, really big trouble. And I think that's kind of good that Onana is making these saves. He's making these athletic, basically brilliant saves. But then again, it's also a bad thing, because it shows that United's defence really isn't playing up to par. And if you want to make top 4, you've got to have a pretty damn good defence. You've got to have one of the best in the entire league. So the fact that a team like Everton can come and play Man United, and alongside that, they're creating a lot of chances. I mean, a few chances isn't so bad, but when a bottom half team are creating a lot of chances against you, and it's a regular thing, this isn't a one-off, when it's a regular thing, and Onana is having to pull out all of these saves just so you can get a win, and you don't throw the game away, that's a very, very negative sign. However, going on to the goals in the game against Everton, there were some pretty good goals scored, and the first goal was just the most incredible, literally the most incredible goal of the lot. It's not even close. This will most likely win goal of the season. So the ball was played down to Diogo Dalot, and he put in a brilliant cross, which, to be honest, no one really talks about. It was a perfect cross, this was. And then Garnacho goes up, beautiful bicycle kick straight into the top corner. Like, the technique and the finish was absolutely sublime. Reminded a lot of people of when Wayne Rooney did that against Manchester City. So after that incredible goal, then Martial goes through. He's given the ball and he goes through into the box. To be honest, he is tripped by Ashley Young, but it is initially given as a dive, and Martial gets a yellow card. However, when going over to VAR, the decision is overturned to a penalty, which I can see why, because Ashley Young does put his foot in the way, and he does trip Martial. So in essence, I do think it was a penalty, purely because the trip was there and it wasn't like just a little tap, it was a clear trip of the foot. So I think you do have to give that, really, for that fact. So I don't think that was really controversial, unlike a lot of the other penalties in the Premier League that have been given through VAR. And then for the penalty, Rashford, who hasn't really been on form recently, well, this season really, tucks away the penalty. I think that was a good thing for Bruno Fernandes to give Rashford the penalty. Gives him a bit of confidence, and he gets another goal, which should help him, and hopefully he can really build off that. So for the last goal, I thought this was a very, very good goal as well. And the ball's played to Bruno Fernandes. I think he put a brilliant ball through to Martial, because Martial was in the middle of two defenders. So to put that ball through, you need to place that very, very well. So the ball's played through to Martial, takes a touch, and he does a beautiful little dink over the goalkeeper for the third goal. And Martial there just showing his class. He still has flashes of brilliance, Martial, and that was another flash of brilliance there with that little simple dink over the goalkeeper. Simple. Well, he made it look very simple. I can guarantee you a chip like that is not simple whatsoever. So Man United, as I've said to a lot of people, the most unconvincing 3-0 win I've ever seen, to be honest. The goals kind of just came out of nowhere, especially that first one. And yeah, I think that really tipped the scales and really put Everton under pressure, which left Man United open for the last goal. So now, going over Man United's last 6 Premier League games, they have a 2-1 win versus Brentford, a 2-1 win versus Sheffield United, a 3-0 loss to Manchester City, a 1-0 win against Fulham, a 1-0 win against Luton Town, and a 3-0 win against Everton. So that's a total of 15 out of a possible 18 points. And that does look good, but the issue once again that I have is United, literally in 4 of those 5 wins, they've won by a goal, and most of those games have been against teams that really they should be beating quite convincingly, and especially the games against Luton Town and Sheffield United and Everton, all teams that are really, I think they're on the bottom 5 actually, and you can only really say that those performances really aren't up to par for United if they want to get into the top 4. And I mean, yeah, a 1-0 win or a 2-1 win against a team like Sheffield United or Luton Town every now and then isn't so bad, but United have done that twice in the last 5 games. So I think it's a worrying trend that United are, it's not like they're just struggling on one side, they're struggling to score in certain games, because in 2 of those games they scored once, in another 2 they scored twice, and then in 1 they scored 0, and it's only in the most recent game they've got 3 goals, and it's because those goals really just came against the run of play. And I think the fact that Everton had to really kind of up their attack and go forward and risk a lot more, I think that's really the only reason that United ended up scoring 3 goals against Everton. So it's like they can't really score, they kind of struggle to score, and then look at the one team that they played that's a very good team, Man City, 3-0 loss, didn't even score, conceded 3 goals, and were absolutely dominated. So this weekend against Newcastle I think will be really, really telling, because Newcastle are another very, very good team, and also another team going for Champions League. So I think that after this string of wins, we will see if it really, really does Man United, if it's really done Man United any good, to be honest, because Newcastle and Man United really both going for top 4. It should be a good battle, but I could see United getting slapped 3-0 again. That wouldn't really surprise me. And yeah, it will be a good test for this team after they've put through a good string of wins, even though they weren't very convincing, to be honest. But stranger things have happened. Unconvincing wins can still give you confidence, because you're winning and you're scoring goals, and confidence can do weird things to you. So that's my viewpoint on Man United's last 6 games, and a bit of a dive into the Man United-Everton game. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Do you think that this string of wins will do United good? Do you think it won't really do them anything, or do you think it'll do them bad? Let me know about that down in the comments. If you like the video, leave a like. If you like these types of videos, subscribe. And yeah, thank you for watching, and hopefully I will see you in the next video.